It happened on Christmas morning. While families everywhere were opening gifts and taking pictures, mine gathered in the living room with a completely different plan. I walked in holding a tray of cinnamon rolls, smiling, trying to make the day feel normal. But the moment I stepped inside, the room went silent. My mother looked at me with that familiar, disappointed stare. "Mia, we need to talk." Her voice was sharp, cold enough to cut through the Christmas lights behind her. My dad folded his arms. My older brother Blake leaned back on the couch, smirking like he already knew what was coming. And my little sister Emma looked down, refusing to meet my eyes. My heart tightened. This wasn't a conversation. It was an ambush. My mom cleared her throat. "You're 26, Mia. Your life is going nowhere. We can't carry you forever." I blinked, stunned. Carry me? I pay rent, I work, I barely ask for anything. Blake scoffed loudly. "Mom means your dream job." He even added air quotes. "Face it, Mia, that little online business of yours isn't a real career." My cheeks burned. They had no idea how hard I'd been working, how close I actually was to success. Then Mom delivered the words that broke Christmas morning in half. "We want you to move out, today." The room echoed. Even the Christmas music in the background suddenly felt mocking. I swallowed hard. "You're serious?" My dad shrugged. "It's for your own good. Maybe you'll grow up." I stood there, humiliated, blindsided, unwanted, but also strangely calm. If they wanted me gone, fine. They had no idea what I had already built and what I was about to leave behind. I walked upstairs to my room, my legs trembling, not from fear, but from the rush of something sharper, something like clarity. As I packed my suitcase, I heard them downstairs, whispering, laughing softly, like this was some kind of intervention they'd finally been brave enough to do. Blake's voice carried louder than he thought. "She'll last a week, then she'll come crawling back." I paused, standing over my half-packed clothes, and I smiled. They really thought I was helpless, but they didn't know the truth. Not yet. They didn't know that the little online business they mocked had just hit numbers even I wasn't prepared for. My phone buzzed, a notification from my store dashboard. "Congratulations, you've hit $250,000 in sales this quarter." My breath caught. This was it. Proof that all those nights I spent working while they slept had finally paid off. I zipped my suitcase and grabbed the small red box from under my bed, the one I'd been waiting to show them, the one containing the truth about what I was really leaving behind. As I walked downstairs, the room went silent again. My family stared at my bags like they'd won, like they'd successfully pushed the failure out of the nest. My mom forced a sympathetic smile. "This is for your growth, sweetheart. Someday you'll thank us." Inside, I laughed, not out of cruelty, but because they were so deeply, confidently wrong. I picked up my coat, reached for the door, then Blake called out, "Don't forget to turn your key in. We don't need you wandering back when things fall apart." And that was the moment I turned around. I opened the small red box, held up the crisp document inside. Their faces leaned in, confused, curious, almost nervous. "Before I go," I said calmly, "there's something you should know." I watched their expressions shift, irritation turning into suspicion as I slowly unfolded the paper. They had no idea their entire understanding of me and of this house was about to change. My dad shifted uncomfortably. "Mia, what is that?" I held the paper a little higher, letting the Christmas lights reflect off the bold lettering at the top. Their eyes narrowed, trying to read it from where they sat. Blake stood up first. "Is that, what, a job application?" He laughed under his breath. "Please don't tell me you're trying to prove something." I didn't respond. I simply walked forward, slow enough to let their anticipation build, but steady enough to keep control of the room. My mom reached out, her voice suddenly softer, more nervous. "Mia, honey, what is that paper?" I laid it gently on the coffee table, the same table where they'd passed judgment on me so many times. This time, their jaws dropped. My brother leaned in first, eyes widening. "No way! No freaking way!" My dad snatched up the paper, scanning every line. His voice cracked as he read out loud. "Property deed, new owner, Mia Thompson." My mom's breath hitched. "This is a mistake." "It's not," I said quietly. "I bought the house last month. Cash." Silence hit the room so hard it felt like the air froze. Even the Christmas lights seemed to flicker in shock. Blake threw his hands up. "You? With what money?" I reached into my bag and pulled out my phone, showing them my business dashboard. The numbers glowed brightly. $250,000 in Q4 revenue, $800,000 lifetime sales. My dad dropped the deed onto the table like it burned his hands. "You bought this house?" I nodded, calm, controlled, powerful in a way they had never allowed me to be. My mom stepped toward me, her voice trembling now. "Mia, sweetheart, why didn't you tell us?" My heart tightened, not from pain, but from the clarity of years finally snapping into focus. "Because you never listened. You saw me as a failure before I had the chance to grow." Their faces fell, slowly, like the truth was sinking into their bones. My dad cleared his throat. "So what now?" I picked up my suitcase, my coat, my keys. Then I looked at them all, not with anger, but with a final, calm certainty. "Now?" I said. "Now I leave." And they still didn't realize that the real shock was yet to come. I stepped outside into the cold December air. Snowflakes drifted through the porch light, landing softly on my coat. It felt peaceful, the first peaceful moment of the entire day. I took a slow breath, and then I heard the door burst open behind me. My mom hurried out, wrapping her sweater tightly around herself. My dad and Blake followed, each wearing the same expression, a strange mix of fear and disbelief. My mom reached for my arm. "You can't just leave now. This is your home." I stepped back gently. "It stopped being my home the moment you pushed me out." Blake scoffed, but his voice cracked this time. "So what, now that you own the place, you're kicking us out?" I shook my head, calm, centered, in control for the first time in years. "No," I said softly, "I'm not kicking anyone out." Their shoulders loosened, relief washing over them for a brief second. Then I added, "But I won't live here anymore." My dad stepped forward. "We didn't mean to hurt you, Mia. We just wanted you to do better." I looked him straight in the eyes. I was doing better. You just never believed in me long enough to see it. The snow grew heavier, silent, almost cinematic, like the universe was pausing with us. My mom whispered, "Where will you go?" I held up my phone, showing them an email I had opened earlier that morning. Bold letters across the top read, "Lease approved, downtown luxury loft." My brother stared. "A loft in the city? You can afford that?" I smiled, the kind of smile I had never shown them before. Confident, independent, unapologetic. I said, "My business paid for it, and it'll pay for everything else too." My mom pressed a hand to her mouth. Tears welled in her eyes. We underestimated you." I nodded slowly.
Yes, you did. My dad reached into his pocket, holding out something small, my old house key. He said softly, "Keep it, just in case." I stared at the key in his hand, the same key I cried over, thought for, and almost surrendered to shame. And then, in the calmest voice I had ever used, I replied, "I don't need it anymore." My family froze, confused, hurt, but also quietly understanding. I turned toward my car, ready to walk into the life they tried to keep me from, and they still didn't know what I had really left behind. When dawn finally broke, I stood outside my sister's house, my suitcase still in the trunk, my hands cold, but my heart steady. She opened the door, eyes widening. "You actually left?" she whispered, shocked. I stepped inside, placed the envelope on the counter, and said calmly, "I didn't come here for charity. I came to return something." She frowned, confused, then opened it. Her breath caught. Inside was a receipts folder. Every grocery bill, every utility payment, every emergency repair I paid for over the years. Things no one in my family ever noticed or cared about. "I'm not asking for anything back," I said firmly. "I just want you to know I wasn't relying on anyone." She looked up, eyes soft. "I didn't know," she murmured. I nodded. "No one ever does, because I never complain." She hesitated. "Do you want to stay here? You don't have to be alone." I smiled, genuinely, for the first time in days. I already found a place, my place. Her eyebrows lifted. "You bought a house?" I nodded slowly. "Closed the deal this morning. I didn't leave the family. I started my own life." The realization hit her, hit me, and suddenly she hugged me, not out of pity, but out of respect. And as I drove toward my new home, sunlight warming the windshield, I finally felt it. Freedom. They sent me away at Christmas, but what I left behind was my silence. And what I gained was finally being seen.